Well, today, Jeannie answers the question, how do you get 25 full-sized people into a pint-sized car?
The answer, of course, is very, very carefully.
This is the story of how to fill a car called the Mini to the max.
Don't you wish everybody used dial?
It's the same principle as cramming a phone booth. Humans like to think big when confronted with small.
A quarter century of progress.
And more than a quarter century later, we're still at it.
No hanky-panky in there.
It's okay, we can't move.
Of course, there must be rules. You don't grease the people.
No, there's no greases or oils being used on the body.
And they're going to be clothed.
They will have all of their clothing on.
Because you could fit a lot more if they were naked, and it would be a lot more interesting visually.
Chris Allison's expertise comes from cramming clowns into cars for the circus, but this was a PR stunt to promote the Mini's 40th anniversary. Though the Mini's not sold in the U.S. anymore, it's an icon overseas. Everyone from Ringo to David Bowie has owned one. The Mini skirt was actually named after the Mini. The so-called Mini Millennium concept car is currently on exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art. As for the art of stuffing a car that's only 10 feet long and 4 feet high,
It's 85% strategy, 15% get in there.
the first thing they did was remove everything from steering wheel to gear shift. The obvious strategy is to put the weight-bearing guys on the bottom.
Ooh, okay.
Wiggle your legs if you're okay.
We are allowed to let body parts hang out.
This was an effort to set a world's record. The Guinness Book is tougher. It requires windows to be closed. The Guinness record for a VW Beetle is 20. Many of the Mini occupants were dancers.
Now, what do you call this trick?
The inside out.
But since Elizabeth Lang, the 23rd passenger, ended up half outside, her inside-out trick wasn't required.
Is this your leg?
No, this is mine.
Oh, this is your leg.
About 10 minutes after they started, passenger 25 crossed the dashboard. Talk about fully loaded. The bottom layer won it out.
I think my foot was on somebody's head. On her head. It was on her head.
How was her foot? Was it,
I hope it didn't smell or anything.
My Mini preceded Mini-Me by 4 decades.
Mini-me.
They could probably fit 40 of Mini-Me in a Mini. At this event, legroom and headroom were one. Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
Craziest thing I've ever seen.
Getting to know you.
Open the door.
Let's get back to the top of the news as CNN Today continues.
Well, a very tight-knit group of people, you might say, has attempted to squeeze its way into the record books. They have taken the expression carpool to the extreme. Chris Osborne has the story.
Back in the 60s, it was quite a craze trying to see how many people could cram into a mini car. The record was 24. Fast forward to 1999.
Number one.
And this attempt to celebrate the Mini's 40th anniversary.
We're up to 6.
We've got 6.
See if you can put your feet out the window right here.
By cramming even more bodies into the 10x4x4 car. By the 20th, things were pretty crowded, and the record seemed out of reach.
Sorry
This is
But they persevered.
nice and easy.
And at last, 25.
It wasn't really that painful, just hard to breathe after a while, because every time you exhale, everybody moves around you because you're so tight together.
These little guys may not look like much. They weigh about 1,500 pounds, but they've got quite a kick. They can reach 95 miles an hour. And while originally conceived as an economy car, they evolved into a bit of a fashion statement.
There's no doubt that over the years, the Mini's been a fantastic icon, a symbol of a generation. If you go back to the 60s, John, Paul, George, David Bowie were all seen in Minis.
Speaking of being seen, the Mini's maker says the little car is also the inspiration for these, which only one person can cram into. In New York, Chris Osborne, Fox News.